Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. This is 𝐀𝐩𝐸𝐜𝐚 and in this video I'll explain you how to create an application load balancer on Google Cloud. So here you can see this is the structure right now we are going to create. First we are going to create three different virtual machines in the same region and in the same zone, and after that we are going to create an unmanaged instance group, and we are going to assign these three virtual machines to this unmanaged instance group, and after that using this unmanaged instance group we are going to create an application load balancer on Google Cloud. Okay, so let's jump into Google Cloud console and let's create this everything. So here you can see this is my Google Cloud console. So first we need to navigate to compute engine. So let's refresh this. So here you can see right now we don't have any of the virtual machines. So now let's create three virtual machines in the same region and in the same zone. So directly select here create instance. So first we need to give the name of the instance. So here name I'm giving like instance 1. So here region you can see I'm going to central US central 1, and when it comes to zone here I'm going to central US central 1A. Directly select this. When it comes to machine configuration, here I'm going with the E2, and machine type here I'm going with E2 medium. Okay, so let's come down. So when it comes to boot disk, here I'm going to select Ubuntu and directly select here select and come down. So when it comes to firewalls, here I'm going to select yellow HTTP traffic. And when it comes to advanced options, previously in networking, previously I created a custom VPC. So in network interfaces, you can directly provide your custom VPC, or else you can directly go with the default VPC. So here, this is my custom VPC, my VPC, and this is the custom subnet. So I will show you that. So VPC networks, and I will open this in a new tab. So here you can see my VPC. So I created with two different subnets. When I open this and when I go to the subnet, so here you can see subnet A and subnet B. So I created with two different subnets. Subnet A is created under US Central 1. So that's why here you can see subnet A. This VM I'm going to create under US Central 1. Okay. So let's come down and directly go to management, and in startup script I'm going to place this. I will copy this and I'll paste it here. So this is nothing but when our VM is in starting state, so first it will update our virtual machine, and after that it will install Apache 2 web server, and after that it will start our Apache 2 web server, and it will enable Apache 2 web server, and it will display message like Apache 2 web server is running on GCP VM, and it will store this message in where www.html, and in this file index.html file it will store this content. So let's do one thing. So here I will modify like virtual machine 1. Sorry, not here. So let's modify here. Virtual machine 1. Okay. Let's come here and directly select here create. So same like this, we need to create three different virtual machines. Okay. Not only three, you can create a number of virtual machines. That is up to your wish. So in this video, I'm going with three different virtual machines. So directly select here create instance again. So now let's give the name like instance 2. So region I'm going to select US Central 1, and again here zone I'm going to select US Central 1A. And let's come down. So when it comes to machine configuration, here I'm going to select E2. And when it comes to machine type, here I'm going to select E2 medium. Okay, let's come down. And when it comes to boot disk, here I'm going to select Ubuntu and directly select here select. And let's come down. And when it comes to firewall, here I'm going to select HTTP traffic. And when it comes to advanced options and in networking, here I'm going to select my VPC. So this is the custom VPC. Previously I shown you. So here you can see this is the my VPC and this is the subnet A. So this is the my VPC and subnet A. And let's go to management, and in startup script I will paste that same script. Okay. And here I will give the name like virtual machine 2. Okay. So previously we have given virtual machine 1. So right now we are going to place here virtual machine 2. So directly select here create, and let's create another VM, and here let's give the name like instance 3. So region US Central 1, and again zone, here I'm going to select US Central 1A. When comes to machine configuration E2, machine type, let's select now E2 small, and boot disk, here I'm going to select Ubuntu, select, and here I'm going to select hello HTTP traffic. And when comes to advanced options and in networking, and again here I'm going to select my VPC. And when comes to management, here I will paste that startup script, and here again I will write virtual machine 3. Okay, so directly select here create. Up to now we created 3 different virtual machines. Okay, so now let's create another 2 virtual machines. While creating instance group, I will explain you why I'm creating unmanaged instance group. Okay, so these 3 virtual machines we created under US Central 1A. So now let's do one thing. Let's create two another virtual machines in US Central 1B. Okay, directly select here create instance, and let's give the name like instance 4, and region US Central 1. And here you can see here I'm going to select US Central 1B. Okay, machine configuration E2, and now here let's select E2 micro. When comes to boot disk, here I'm going to select Ubuntu again, and here select, I'm going to allow HTTP traffic. And when comes to advanced options and in networking, here I will provide my VPC, custom VPC, and subnet. So when comes to management, I will place this in startup script, and here I will provide virtual machine 4. And directly select here create. So same like this, let's create another virtual machine. Create instance, VM instance 5. Sorry, instance 5. And region US Central 1. And here let's select US Central 1B. Okay. Machine configuration E2. And here let's select E2 small. Boot disk. Here I'm going to select again Ubuntu. Select. And here I'm going to select firewalls, hello HTTP traffic. So when comes to advanced options and in networking, here I'm going to select the custom VPC, which is my VPC. Okay, let's come down, and this is the subnet A. And again in management, I'm going to paste this startup script, and let's give here VM5 directly. Okay, no problem. Directly select here create. So now we created 5 different virtual machines. So these are the 5 different virtual machines. 3 virtual machines we created under US Central 1A. 2 virtual machines we created under US Central 1B. Okay. So now let's go to instance groups. So here you can see instance groups. So I'll open this in a new tab. So now here you need to select create instance group. And now we are going to create an unmanaged instance group. So directly select here unmanaged instance group. So let's open a new tab, and here I'll explain you GCP unmanaged instance group. So let's open this first link. Here you can see group unmanaged VMs together. An unmanaged instance group is a collection of virtual machine instances that reside in a single project zone and VPC network and a subnet. So here unmanaged instance group is nothing but it is a collection of virtual machines, guys, that reside in a single project. So here you can see this is a single project. So here you can see my first project. So this is a single project. If you have another project, that is a project. So same like this, it is a single project or else a single zone or else a VPC network and a subnet. It may be anything. Okay. So when you are going to create an unmanaged instance group, all your virtual machines should be in the same zone. So here you can see we created these 3 virtual machines in the same zone. So now I will explain you why like that. So here we need to give the name of the instance group. So here let's give the name like unmanaged instance group. Okay. Location. Here I'm going to select US Central 1. Zone. Here I'm going to select US Central 1A. Why? Because I created my virtual machines in US Central 1A. Okay. That's why here I'm going to select US Central 1A. So when it comes to network and instance, here I'm going to select my VPC, and automatically it will take subnet here. Okay, this is the custom subnet. So when I drop down this, here you can see instance 1, instance 2, instance 3. This 3 instance it was showing. What about another 2 instance 4 and instance 5? Now I will explain you. So here you can see we created these 3 virtual machines in instance 1, instance 2, instance 3 we created in US Central 1A. So here you can see here zone we selected US Central 1A. So that's why here it was displaying 3 instances. Now if I select here US Central 1B, and when I drop down this instance 4 and instance 5, it was displaying. So here you can see instance 4 and instance 5 we created in US Central 1B. So this is the main reason why I'm going to create in the same zone. Okay. So I created a dedicated video on how to create an unmanaged and managed and unmanaged instance group. So try to watch that video guys, then it will be better understanding for you. Okay, let's leave this. So here let's select US Central 1A and directly select these 3 virtual machines. Directly select here OK. Okay, so let's come down. So when it comes to port mapping, directly select here add port, and here I will give the port name as port. Here you can give whatever you want. So my Apache 2 web server is running on port 80, so that's why here I'm going to provide port 80. So directly select here create. So now we are going to create an unmanaged instance group. So here you can see this is an unmanaged instance group. So let's refresh. Here instance it was showing only 0. Let's refresh, or else let's open this. It is in the creating state guys. So here you can see our unmanaged instance group is in the creating state. Okay. So let's open this. Let's copy this external IP instance 1 external IP and open a new tab and paste it here. So here it will display Apache 2 web service running on GCP virtual machine 1. Okay. So let's close this. Again, copy instance to public IP. That means external IP. In AWS, we call it as public IP address. Okay. So I created a dedicated videos on how to create an application load balancer on AWS also. Try to watch that video if you don't know. So here you can see virtual machine 2. Okay. Now let's copy instance 3 external IP and paste it here. So here you can see virtual machine 3. So now let's create an application load balancer and let's distribute the load between to these 3 virtual machines. Okay. So now let's close this and come here directly. So here you can see our unmanaged instance group is created. So here you can see these 3 are the virtual machines we have given. So in search bar, directly search for load balancer. So here you can see load balancing. Directly select this load balancing. And right now we don't have any of the load balancers. Okay. So directly select here create load balancer. So type, we are going to select an application load balancer. Next video, I'll explain you how to create a network load balancer. Okay. So in this video, let's go with an application load balancer. Directly select here next. So here public and public facing or internal. So here I'm going to select here public facing. So I want to expose my application to external world. So that's why here I'm going to select public facing. Directly select here next. So here I'm going to select regional workloads. Okay. Directly select here next and directly select here configure. So first we need to give the name of the load balancer. So here I'm giving my load balancer. So here name you can give whatever you want. So region I'm going to select here US Central 1. So when it comes to network, here I'm going to select my VPC. Okay. So now here you can see we need to create a proxy only subnet. Okay. So directly select here reserve subnet. So before creating this, I will open this my VPC and let's select here VPC networks. So here you can see this is the my VPC custom VPC, right? So directly go to subnets. So in reserved proxy only subnets for load balancing, we don't have any of the proxy subnets. Okay. So this subnets is used for load balancing in Google Cloud. So right now we don't have any of these subnets. So let's create this. Directly go here and directly give the name. So here let's give proxy subnet for load balancing. Load hyphen balancing. So let's give like this. So here we need to give the IP address range. So here 10.0.0.0/24. Here it was not accepting. Let's give 10.10.0.0/24. Okay, now it is going to create. So let's come here and let's refresh this. So here you can see our proxy subnet has been created. Proxy subnet for load balancing. So now let's come here. So here it is still in creating state. So let's wait. It will display. So here you can see our subnet has been created with this mask range /24 10.10.0.0/24. Okay. So now we need to create front end configuration. So first we need to give the name. So here let's give the name like front end. So protocol we are going to use HTTP. So if you select here HTTPS, here you need to provide certificates and everything. So in next videos I will explain you how to create with the certificates and everything. So in this video let's directly go with HTTP. And here port we are going with 80. So our Apache 2 web server is running on port 80. So that's why I'm going to select 80. So if your application is running in some other port, you can directly provide the port here. So when it comes to IP address, here I'm going to create a static IP address. So here static IP address is nothing but it is a reserved IP address which is provided by Google. In AWS we call it as elastic IP, guys. Okay, it is similar to that. Directly select here create IP address. So before creating this, I will show you this. Directly come to my VPC and directly go to IP addresses. So here you can see we don't have any of the static IP. So now let's create a static IP. So here let's give static IP for load balancer. So here name I'm giving like this. Here you can give whatever you want. So directly select here reserve. So now static IP will be created and that will be assigned to this an application load balancer. Okay. So directly here you can see successfully reserved IP address. So let's come here and let's refresh this. So here you can see this is the static IP address. Static IP address has been created. So let's come here. Let's come down and directly select here done. So up to now we created front end configuration. Now we need to create backend configuration. So directly select here backend configuration. So directly select this and here you need to select create a backend service. So here we need to give the name of the backend service. So here let's give directly backend and backend type. So here we need to select instance group. Why? Because means previously we created instance group. So here directly select instance groups. So here you can see we created this unmanaged instance group, right? So in this instance group, we have added out 3 virtual machines. So here you can see we have given these 3 virtual machines in this unmanaged instance group. So that's why here I'm going to select this instance group and protocol HTTP and named port HTTP and timeout 30 and let's leave this everything. So come down and here and in instance group directly select here unmanaged instance group. So previously we created this instance group, right? So here I'm going to select this and here I'm going to select use existing port name. So while creating instance group we have given existing port like 80. So same port here I'm using 80. Okay. So let's come down. So here health check directly drop down this and here you need to select create a health check. And here I will give the name like health check for load balancer. And let's come down and directly select here save and directly select here create. So here it was displaying. So let's remove this and let's try to select here create. Okay. Our backend service has been created and directly select here OK. So now when it comes to routing rules, here I'm going with the simple host and path rule. Okay. So here host and path rules, we are going to select here backend. So we created backend configuration, right? So this is the backend service we selected here. So directly select here create. So here you can see our application load balancer is going to create. So directly drop down this. So here you can see right now our application load balancer is going to create. So let's come to my VPC. Up to now here you can see we create while creating an application load balancer, we created a static IP. So but right now it is in this static IP is not using any of the service in Google Cloud. Within some time here you see a forwarding rule. So I will show you that after creating this load balancer. So let's wait. Let's refresh this. So meanwhile, let's go to VM instances and let's delete instance 4 and instance 5, guys. Okay, let's try to delete these two virtual machines. Directly select here, delete and delete. Our two virtual machines is going to delete. So these three virtual machines we have given for unmanaged instance group. So whenever we are accessing with the load balancer IP, one request will go to instance 1, one request will go to instance 2, and one request will go to instance 3. I will show you everything. So here you can see successfully created load balancer. So once let's refresh this. So here you can see we given the name like applicate my load balancer. So load balancer type we created an application load balancer. Access type we have given external access. Protocol is HTTP. And this is the region. Under this region we created US Central 1. So let's open this. So let's come here. So up to now here you can see it was showing none. So when I refresh this, so here you can see forwarding rule to front end. So it was forwarding this IP to front end service, which is load balancer front end service. Okay. So here you can see 35.208.32.24. So same here you can see 35.208.32.24. This is the static IP address, guys. Okay. So now let's try to access this, directly copy this up to here and paste it in web. So here you can see now one request is going to virtual machine 2. At last here you can see virtual machine 2. So when I refresh this, it was going to virtual machine 1. So when I refresh this, it was going to 2. So when I refresh this, it was going to 3. Now you can understand it was distributing load to instance 1, instance 2 and instance 3. So here you can see instance 1, instance 2, instance 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Again 1 and 2 and 3. So now you can understand how load balancer is working. Load this we created an application load balancer, right? So here you can see we created an application load balancer, and using this, sorry, we created three different virtual machines, right? And using these three virtual machines, we created an unmanaged instance group. And in this unmanaged instance group, we have given these three virtual machines. That means we provided three virtual machines in this unmanaged instance group. And using this unmanaged instance group, we created an application load balancer. So when we are accessing with this IP, so here you can see we created an IP, static IP. So using this IP, it was distributing one request to instance 1 and one request to instance 2 and one request to instance 3. So here you can see same like this, it will distribute the load. Okay. So this is how you can create an application load balancer on Google Cloud. So in next videos, I will explain you how to create a load balancers using managed instance group and how to create load balancers with auto scaling and everything. Okay. And yes, that's it for today's video. Now let's try to delete everything. So first you need to delete this load balancer. And one thing I want to tell you, after completing your labs, try to delete this load balancer, guys, because Google Cloud will charge more amount from you. So that's why try to delete this load balancer and everything. Directly select this and directly select here delete. And here you need to select backend and health check. So while deleting this application load balancer, we are going to delete this backend service as well as this health check. Okay, directly select here delete load balancer. So within some time, this load balancer will be deleted. And after deleting this load balancer, we need to delete this instance group. So instance group, we need to delete this unmanaged instance group. And after that, we need to terminate these three virtual machines. That means in Google Cloud, we call it as delete. We need to delete these three virtual machines. Okay. So let's come here. Let's refresh this. It is still in the deleting state. So it takes some time to delete this virtual machine. So let's wait. So once again, let's refresh this. So here you can see our load balancer has been deleted. So now let's go to instance groups. Directly delete this instance group. Directly select this and directly select here delete. And here select delete. Now directly go to VM instances and select these three virtual machines and directly select here delete and delete. So let's wait, and after completing this, directly go to VPC. Let's refresh this. We deleted load balancer, so that's why here it was showing none. So we need to remove the static IP. So if you are not removing the static IP will charge more amount from you guys. Okay, so directly select this, and here you need to select release static IP address and release. And go to VPC networks and directly go to my VPC and subnets. And here you can see you need to delete this proxy subnet and delete. Okay, you need to delete this everything, guys. So let's come here and let's refresh this. Okay, within some time it will delete everything, guys. And yes, that's it for today's video. And if you like my video, please do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. And see you in the next video. And bye.